they can also play more front to back. There's so many different avenues that AL can pilot this composition, whilst BLG, I feel like, have the more traditional front to back with Patron engaging on the follow-up and seeing if Knight can get one of these multi-man ultis. It's just so easy to just bully that Raptor camp away, as Shanks is bullying Patron alone. Lucky Patron didn't have that level 6 there. Very, very close, but not quite.
On below 300 HP, Elk at 50%. Hope is sending it with the Killer Instinct, knowing he has level 6. Whoa! I was not expecting that damage to come out, but that is first blood for Hope.
Yeah, Hope stayed alone in lane as Kale actually roamed, so he ended up getting that extra tick towards that level 6. Reminder right there, Elk had lost his flash in the previous 2 versus 2 down bot lane as well. A couple of seconds ago, actually. A couple of minutes ago to that bot lane 2v2.
Meanwhile, the rest of BLG are trying to secure as many grubs as possible before Tarzan arrives to the party. And at least for BLG's case, they'll be able to knock up one of the feats, since it is 2. So Glacial Prison used, gets the flash out of Tarzan. He is level 6, but he's not going to be able— oh, whoa! Big stole the last grub! That's 3 grubs for them, and Tarzan no flash! Equalizer right on top, thanks to the collapse from Ben. He's flashing on top of KL, knowing that he's got nowhere to go. Big fight win for BLG, and now the rest of anyone's legend are forced to retreat from this Tristana. So the next time that Glacial Prison is up and available for BH1, that could be a guaranteed setup play, but they're going to continue it now that On is here with a 3v2. Elk already pushed in the mid lane, so they have push in. KL is the target. He's still not level 6, so he doesn't have the damage reduction from his ultimate. Shanks is under fire, tries to look for a jump onto BH1. Wait a minute, Shanks almost outplays it as KL found another one on the On before Knight is able to clean it up. Hope is now trying to match Elk here on the other play, but the Featherstorm doesn't get the rake pullback. Played as well as they could have in that situation. The fact that anyone's Ledger are able to walk away with some kills on their side at least makes it so that BLG are not just steamrolling from that scenario onward. We already saw that Tarzan was burning down the second dragon of the game. BLG prioritizing the top side, getting ready for the Rift Herald in 1 minute 43. KL forced to flash over the wall. Hope could be the target. Oh! Princess still connects despite flashing. He could be in trouble here. Has the barrier, but the Fate Seal connects right on top for the knockup. Barrier, it's enough. He sustains with the health potion ticking, and anyone's legend AD carry shines through. They have been able to get through mid lane and top lane. They're gonna burn down the Rift Herald. No contest from the side of anyone's legend, trying to pressure maybe for the bot side of the map, but On is here to cover just in case things get dicey for Ben.
Yeah, I feel like AL are using sort of the same strategy they used versus top esports when Shank was playing the Azir. What's the issue right here? They're gonna take the easy path, we'll just take the Rift Herald, maybe bump it onto the mid lane tower, see how fast AL responds, which is not fast enough because Tristana was in the side lane. Shanks didn't commit his TP right here, so that's a pretty uncontested mid lane tier 1 tower, and BLG will take this anytime. I just want to remind people that Speed trying to scout away, and the Dragon has been started.
8,000 already, 7,000. BLG trying to force their way through the top side of this river. Knight getting ready to check Tarzan, knock him up. Maybe equalizer right into the back line. Knight is able to connect as well. Tarzan secures the dragon, but can they win the fight? That's the big question. Tarzan just getting soloed out by Ben as he follows the deer over the wall and burns it for roast venison. BLG, what a massive wipe of the fight. Takedown 3 for the price of no one.
What is like in this fight? There's just so many abilities and so many threats that can find that backline, the equalizer, the Yone ult, the Rakan.
Since Shanks was forced to base, this is going to be a massive team fighting buff for BLG.
I mean, right here, BLG cut off AL from their own jungle, which means they had full control over the bot side of the map. If you look at all the wards that are inside the bot quadrant of Tarzan's jungle, it's just impossible for AL to get any control. They are just so far ahead in terms of items, in terms of levels, in terms of vision. And I feel like I've had a slight beef right here in this game, particularly with AL on their vision control and the setups around the neutral objective.
Also, their front line has to create that space, and the onus is on them to be even more diligent about doing so, as with this lead, BLG get a chance to strong force their way, using Flandra to safely walk in and guarantee himself even more gold and a little bit of extra XP as fast as possible. But the proactive TP ensures that Knight is able to clear out this tier 2 on the bot side, or at least that Flandra was able to answer it, so Knight doesn't take the turret quite outright. Ben is answering on the top side, and even though anyone's legend are not able to contest for dragons, as these marksmen scale up, so are the Rumble and the Yone.
Hold up.
On going forward with the quickness, being able to find Shanks into the back line. Glacial Prison was already exhausted. Oh, great equalizer. H1 trying to flash on top of Shanks, but he's able to use the buzzer shot and the jump to get away, but that means KL is left for dead. Don't have the luxury of just being able to front to back. As Flandra's going to try to force the issue onto Bin. Baron is alive, and look where BLG are already going for. Bin is just going to stall this fight as long as possible, and eventually he will die, but he's going to pop the Seekers. This gives more time for BLG to burn down the Baron, and don't tell me Shanks dies too through the Leandry's bump. That would not be ideal. All right, well, Shanks survives, but it's Baron secured for the side of BLG.
BLG will take this trade any time of the week, and I feel like this game is as good as clinically remain for AL. They're all pretty low HP. Just dispose of that, keep AL in their base, rinse and repeat.
And you know what? Even though the Glacial Prison does not connect, it forces Hope off momentarily, possible, just so that they can create space for Shanks and Hope. Tarzan knows he's not going to be the big carry this game in terms of being able to DPS all these guys. He has to create
that distance, so this is still a win condition right there. The only problem is that you're stuck in your base. You can't walk in your jungle. Hold on.
Flandre forced to already use the onslaught. KL trying to go in onto Elf, but he's by himself. That's an easy 5-on-4 now guaranteed for the side of BLG.
But BLG just have push everywhere. If you cannot walk inside your own jungle, you cannot walk into the river, you cannot play for those objectives. It doesn't matter at this point, I guess, how many items you do have.
Look at what Knight is building. Yeah, it is definitely a tough one for BLG. Okay, they're going to send it right on the Bin. They know that he's isolated, but he still has a Zonia's now. H1 is here to see if he can bail out his top laner. Teleport comes in for Knight. Hope has sent it, and it ends up just being a 1-for-1, which is not where you want to be as anyone's legend. Flandre will fall as well. Knight picks up a double, and BLG, knowing that they have a 4-on-3, they're going to try to take as much from the base as possible.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie. AL, they had to make a move. They tried to make a move. It didn't work. Tarzan?
3Q man flash into the Lilting Lullaby, but Knight still had the QSS, is able to pop it so he doesn't fall asleep. And Tarzan is the one going night-night. Shanks, the only damage carry left, but Elk flashing forward to guarantee the Feather Storm into the Rake pullback. Anyone's legend now down all 5 members. BLG, the only thing that's saving anyone's legend for now is that they don't have a minion wave immediately to push into the base, but it's coming through. And will they have enough time to push for the end? Probably not, just the inhibitor turret.
That fight was so anticlimactic because you mentioned there was no way for BLG to actually end the game here. So and Elk are arriving from that mid lane. They weren't really that far away. And on the screens right now, Baitron pretty low.
Super in trouble. KL and Flandre trying to beat the front line as much as possible. On doesn't get the grand entrance, but finds the quickness on the Shanks. He's stunned up for a moment. Tarzan following up with that bloom. But Flandre is still getting burned down by the rest of the damage dealers by BLG. Shanks tries to send it for Bin, but he gets interrupted by H1 with that Arctic Assault. Elk is still pumping. Knight is ready to send it once again. Tarzan trying to find damage as much as he can. Shanks jumping in for Bin, but he's getting spaced and Astral glided on. No way out for this Tristana.
BLG are just too far ahead. The levels, the extra items are coming through. The 10,000 gold lead is coming through. And they're gonna clean up this base. First inhibitor is gonna fall down. They're gonna leave the bottom lane inhibitor still standing. But if you look on the top left of your screen, it's 20 seconds for the next Baron. So making sure that you're setting up for the big purple worm is more important than taking that second inhibitor. I mean, one push and we'll take that. Oh, nice!
Tarzan doesn't even get a chance to pop the Zonia's Hourglass. He knew he was cut off.
Baron for BLG.
Get a chance to look at the picture-in-picture. It looks like that's where Hope died in the aftermath. It was just Knight forcing the issue, flashing on top of the Kaisa as well.
Needs to beat AL on a 2-0 as the 1-0 is pretty certain right there. You know how we said that, as I'm saying, is a BLG just pushing with Baron right here, guys. It's as simple as push the towers, kill remaining AL members, end the game. It'd be so funny because we're saying that this top 2 is much isolated from the rest of the teams, but BLG might actually insert themselves back in that conversation.
Potentially, now that H1 has brought some revitalization that was needed for this roster. Anyone's legend already getting stunned up by that Glacial Prison. Flandre trying to hold his own, but he's already down to 50% HP. Knight has a lot of damage out front and out the back, but
Knight
at least... Oh my
just took the explosion to the rest of his team.
You know what? They don't care.
Why not?
BLG are like, they can take the explosion. Or anyone's legend just gonna send it right here. Tarzan right in front of H1's face. Flandra is gonna take up as much as he can. Unstoppable onslaught onto the frontline members. Tarzan looking for that lilting lullaby, putting members to sleep. Shanks looking for the first reset on H1, but we've got Hope diving past. They found Elk. They're down 12,000 gold advantage, by the way, and somehow anyone's legend. They're bringing it back. BLG, they cooked too much. They disrespected anyone's legend, and now AL have 5 members to 2 on the map.
Dragon Soul. Just as a reminder right here, when you are 3-4 items deep, when you're that far into the game, items don't matter as much. As you can see, okay, overstaying does matter though, so Knight's gonna get another one for himself. But if you look over in Knight's inventory, yeah, that was done through many choke points and many avenues inside that jungle. Right here, it's a pretty much plain open field for BLG. Like, that's a very early ult!
Forced to use the Thunderstorm early. KL's gonna send it. They had to defend through the front line. A lot of damage right into Flandra and KL. And Knight finds Shakes this time around. Hope in a 1v5. I don't think it's gonna happen this time. BLG, stop with the cooking, start with the precision, and close out this game for the first win of the series.
Huge win right here for BLG, picking up that first win versus AL, who 2-0'd the #1 team in this split in the likes of Tess and BLG. Wolves coming in, the Xin Zhao ult, Ezreal being so slippery, Karma with the extra shields and movement speed. I feel like AL are gonna have sort of like a very hard time in pinning down certain champions to try and capitalize on them. RQ from Karma and then possibly a W and a follow-up, or you'll get poked by Ezreal playing towards the river side of that bot lane. This is why it's so oppressive. And when Lucian Nami trades onto you, you've got shields, you've got mobility, you can literally play through the wave and stuff like this. So this is a small positioning things that you can do. You guys are also playing in your solo queue, Karma Ezreal. Shuts that down, and remember what we said, with the priority through the Karma Ezreal, they get to sneak in and still at least one Void Grub away from AL.
H1 forced to use the smite early, so that this gives an opportunity for Tarzan to at least maybe go in for a steal, but the fact that BLG get the leash reset, smite is coming off of another few seconds here. Tarzan avoiding the seismic shove. Can he just walk in? But BLG play that so well. All contesting the farthest grub away so that Tarzan could not steal it away. And this guarantees that at least BLG will take 2. They're sending it with the Grand Starfall, looking at Knight, but he flashes over the wall. No space.
Yes, it's River not quite yet onto Hope. However, BLG are looking to fight this.
H1 trying to cut off KL. Remember, this is a squishy Nami forced to flash away. Dragon was secured for the side of anyone's legend. They're going to try to push H1 away, but the Crescent Guard is at least blocking a lot of damage, but they're still able to do him away. And now BLG have to kite on back. Trust in Elk's Ezreal on, trying to buy as much space as he can. Forced to flash away on the Karma. Bin being another front line here as Tarzan sends it for the Grand Starfall. Not able to get in range to close anyone off.
Any other players that can commit in with him. Elk doesn't even have his Trinity Force complete, and right here, Shanks.
Oh, Shanks, he tries to shift, gets the shield, but it's still not enough. No chance in trying to burn the flash away, and Knight could be in trouble here, but if he can cut this one out from Tarzan, maybe it'll be enough. He blocks incoming damage, flashes the seismic shove, and finds the spear, but now can H1 equalize it? Doesn't find the wind, becomes lightning. Tarzan walks out alive. In a fighting position to walk up. Meanwhile, Shanks is looking, and he flashes over the seismic shove. Knight still has a flash of his own. No Weaver's Ball for the next 2 seconds, but he's not getting out of this one. Shanks being able to rise up and get one back for himself.
I think this is how you do a straight up 1 versus 1. Necessarily have a formation they want to play for. Talking about formation, H1 looking for Shanks.
Oh, wait, but Shanks was trying to, he tried to TP and he got canceled. Oh boy! Just as the praise was coming through for getting the 1v1 on the Knight, H1 puts him back in the dirt.
I am very confused though. How can you get a TP off with Xin Zhao around? I am so insanely confused right there. Maybe it was a misclick by Shanks. It doesn't make sense any other way as Hope.
Elk already burning the barrier here, forced to flash away, but here comes the Pantheon, but great by H1 to at least punt him away for a little bit, but still Elk goes down to Hope's Lucian. Here comes the Sand United, but it was canceled. How was it canceled? Did Bid hit the W and just displace him? There it is! I love this game, man.
That was perfect. That was perfect. Okay, but that fight was pretty much a calling on what we're expecting to see.
Shanks, this could be trouble. He knows that Shanks doesn't have a flash of his own. He's gonna shift over the wall, but Bin, he takes the E! Burn, baby, burn! It's not gonna happen. Shanks survives.
Ooh. 1 HP right there. Tarzan and Kale are walking towards the top side.
BLG side. Kale trying to roam back on over, seeing if they can catch out on here. He has flash available, dashing aggressively. The tether is connecting and roots him up. Beichuan now gonna dash on in. He tries to dash away, but Beichuan falls with his own flash. Crescent guard at the ready. Tarzan's in trouble. He has to fight a 2v3 and he's bailing. He's leaving Gale to die, but at least this fish has a flash of her own. And now Knight is coming to pay the piper. Tarzan could be in trouble. Cannot sidestep the seismic shove. Was trying to sidestep it, but BLG just running away with the game and extending the lead to 2,000.
It's actually crazy. Just outnumbering AL in their own game. They're looking for the mid lane tower.
Flandre could be in trouble, has a flash if necessary, forced to flash over the W. Limited, right? I mean, you're hoping that Tarzan is always going to connect with a Shen behind his back as Hope opens up the clip. Already Elk is forced down below 60% HP. Bin is the target now. Tarzan looking for a flashless York. Stun sets up the kill for Shanks to be able to pick up the pieces with the Sand Soldier. It's actually Tarzan that gets him. Meanwhile, fight back in the 2v2. Hope able to sidestep the True Shot barrage as BLG continue to push the pressure. Beichuan now looming over to the bottom side of the map, knowing that Tarzan was here. He is 13, level 12 against Tarzan. Sand United is coming through. This time, the Shen arrives to the party, but can Shanks provide the damage necessary? He's too low to compete. Beichuan fighting to the very bitter end, but he finally gets cut off. BLG able to at least take one with them in Tarzan, but the fact that they lost on in the back half of it does not bode well.
Bane is actually starting to walk those up both side river, but then he realized otherwise. These big chunks are what we're talking about when we're like, oh, this is what Lucia does really, truly well, and it's been displayed right there. The trade that you take, this is where you see BLG like actually move to try and find it.
Could be tricky. I don't think Bin is moving quite yet. Is he going to commit? No, he's TPing now. They need to compete for this Otacon. Already below 4,000 HP. Tarzan's on the other side. They got to stop dealing damage and wait for Tarzan to get back around. The Weaver's Wall cuts him off. He can't get in. Beichuan cast the Crescent Guard and punted him away, even though with the flash that Tarzan had, Thornbound Otacon just got gifted to BLG. They're going to run one down and look for more stragglers here. Then, can he slow the members down?
He was the most impactful of them all. That wall to cut out Tarzan from not being able to smite,
completely run the map.
And Zinza is one of the best champions to do that with. You get ahead in the early game, he's actually really, really good at snowballing. He's one of the more fizz fighters. I mean, we were mocking it, right, on the 1 versus 1. He's the guy that's jungle, which can then mean one pick could mean Baron. Hold up, talking about picks.
H1's got to be careful, though. Here comes the Shen looking for Knight as Shank scoops him right into the taunt. H1 also falls next, and anyone's legend surge back to life.
Versus 5, sure, and Bin's on the top side, but let's see if they can poke enough to stop AL from taking down Baron. Oh, I think it's working. Oh, I think it's working.
He's now looking. He doesn't have embers to bite. He's just giving his life to try and force Elk out of the pit. He's already used flash. He's already used shift. They're charging. Oh! They lost Tarzan. Bin on the flank. He's going to give his life to make sure that there's no more smite for the side of anyone's legend. Baron is no longer a thing for AL. 6th member of the BLG squad as this dragon is getting burned down. Tarzan sending it. Immediately punted back by Beichuan with the pressing guard. Tidal Wave rips the back line and just tries to stall them from now. Shanks trying to lock down the Xin Zhao with the rest of anyone's legend. He's going to interrupt him, but not enough damage comes through on the side of Hope's Lucian. It's enough to at least guarantee the tier 1 in the mid lane, and maybe anyone's legend could look to bleed this pressure into the top side.
Seraphs and Zonias right there from Knight, kept him alive. On was around as well with potential heal or shield to save him. However, that was a great pick right there from Hope, forcing Knight off of that mid lane tier 1, starting to take a few more towers on the map. This is only the 2nd tower that AL have been able to take. Hope. Nice dodge.
God. Oh! Hope is in trouble. Forced to flash. Here comes the Weaver's Wall. Knight is going to send it downtown looking for that Lucian, knowing that he doesn't have summoner spells here. Barrier already popped. Knight for looking one more. Tarzan going to valiantly defend his AD carry from falling. Shanks is in trouble, but he flies over the left wall. Tarzan's now in trouble. He gets flubbed back. Seismic shove connects, and now they don't have their jungler BLG having open access to Baron. Free for BLG. There's no smite. No one can even get in range to see if they can try and yoink it away with a stray skill shot. Shanks, oh my goodness, I thought he was in no man's land there. Still had the shuffle. Knight boldly walks forward, catches Shanks with the seismic shove. Emperor's Divine only pushes the back momentarily. Hope tries to empty the clip. A little bit of damage to the backline, but BLG got what they came for. Tarzan still dead for another 2 seconds. BLG will get the tier 2 in the mid lane. They're gonna look for as much as possible. TP from Knight rejoining the fight.
Can they potentially look to end right here? 35 seconds onto Azir. If they get a second pick right there with a knockup from Knight, they could potentially lose juice to end the game. It's not gonna be the case. Eleanor overextended, but BLG are forcing this game.
They have Baron buff on their side. They have York Maiden. They have essentially a 7-man push with Cannon Minion
No
and
way.
Maiden. Tarzan goes into the backline. Elk forced the flash. Stand united. I think it got interrupted again. No Flandre comes through. But if you only kill the support, that's nothing. You've got to take out Elk, but he still lives. And now it's Hope, the shining hope. It's not going to be enough to take out BLG. Revitalized, rejuvenated with Bechuan, their 4th straight series win.
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.